Welcome to Tangled Web Tales, where stories are told and the drama unfolds. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss newly uploaded videos. Without further delay, let's get to our first tale.
Am I the asshole for calling my brother a shitty dad and a shittier husband? I, 16M, have an older brother, 26M, who recently had his first son a month ago. His wife, 26F, never wanted a kid, but my brother convinced her to have one. This week was the first time I've visited since the baby was born, since we live states away. The place was pretty dirty, but I shrugged it off thinking they're new parents and have their hands full. Then I seen his wife, who looked as if she hadn't showered since the delivery, slept in a week, or anything except take care of the baby. Compared to my brother, who was clean, well-kept, and rested, she was a train wreck. While we were there for 4 hours, I really saw how much he contributed. Every time the baby would cry, my brother would hand him off to my mom or his wife. He ran out of the nursery yelling for someone else to change the baby's diaper, and turns out it was a small turd. Not even a blowout. Other examples of his negligence include insisting we leave the baby home alone while we went out for dinner, refusing to bathe him, and yelling at the baby to just go to sleep. My parents had seen enough in person and sat everyone down, me included. We told him he needs to grow up and help out, but he just kept making excuses like how tired he is from work. For the record, he works June 7th hours a day Monday through Friday, sometimes a half day on Saturdays. His logic was that because he works, he can avoid his duties as a father. He is not the breadwinner, by the way, the mother works as well, willingly at home. He eventually was mad that we wanted him to be a dad and he just said, "She's a woman, I'm a man. I don't take care of him other than sports and teaching him to be a man." I snapped and started yelling how he's a shitty dad for neglecting the child he pressured his wife to have. I called him a lousy dad, and how sad it is that he makes everyone else do his duties for him. I called him a deadbeat, adding how he shouldn't have had a kid if he didn't want to help out. I said I was sorry his wife married him because he was such a shitty husband and how much better she can do, and added how I wouldn't be surprised if they were divorced by the time he was 30. Everyone was silent. My parents told me to wait outside, then later told me to apologize because it was rude and unnecessary. I refused to, but I heard him crying. I don't know if I took it too far, but I think he needs a reality check so that kid grows up with him present. We tried over the phone before and only were being nice, but that didn't work. I need to know, Reddit, am I the asshole? Edit, hello. Lots of comments and messages asking if Asiel is okay. Thank you for your concern, it makes me think humanity isn't doomed yet. She's okay. She got the rest she needed while we were there and cleaned up herself. She said that she would probably start making my brother do baby things so she could take care of herself.
In my opinion, no, I don't think you were the asshole here. Although, there may have been better ways to communicate your feelings effectively, your brother definitely needed to hear what you said. Your brother isn't necessarily an asshole here either. He seems disillusioned to what a father's responsibilities are. He needed a serious rude awakening, which is exactly what you gave him. For only being 16, I give you a lot of credit for having the courage to stand up for your sister-in-law and your nephew. What you did was courageous, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. Now, if your brother doesn't change his behavior and continues to neglect his wife and son, then he will most certainly be the asshole. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you correct them, but when you continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, well then it becomes intentional. Good luck to you, and I hope your brother heard your words and took them to heart. Now for story number 2. Let's get into it.
Am I the asshole for telling my sister I am never babysitting for her again? I, 37M, am single, child-free and have 2 dogs, German Shepherd mixes. They are very well behaved and super nice. My nibblings, aged 2 to 13, love them. I have 4 sisters and they have 10 kids total, so I babysit a lot. I work from home and am pretty much always available to watch the older ones, since I can easily work while they are in my apartment, and when they need care for the little ones, I just move my schedule around a bit. Yesterday 4 of my nibblings were at my place, ages 3, 5, 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are siblings. I have just one super strict rule at my house: no chocolate. It's deadly for dogs. I don't like it anyway, and kids can easily go an afternoon without it. The 7 and 8 years olds obviously brought chocolate with them and shared with 3 and 5 years old. I was in the kitchen making them drinks, they were in the living room. My dogs were sleeping on the balcony. I came into the living room and there were obviously chocolate crumbs everywhere. I asked who had the chocolate, and 7 and 8 years old admitted that mom gave it to them and they always have some with them, but usually eat it in secret. When my sister came to pick them up a few hours later, I told her what happened and she said that her kids are big enough not to make a chocolate mess. I told her I'm never babysitting for her again. She is furious and says I overreacted. Another sister of mine agrees with her. My mother thinks I am wrong for putting my dogs before the children. Am I the asshole?
In my opinion, you are absolutely not the asshole here. First, let me say you are one heck of a brother and uncle to open your home to your nieces and nephews for your sisters. You are doing them a favor by watching their kids, nieces and nephews or not. Nowhere in the handbook of siblings does it say that you are obligated in any way to be a babysitter. Your dogs are your children and you have rules for your home. They are visitors there and need to oblige by your rules. Your sister intentionally giving them chocolate knowing your rules is deceitful and manipulative. She is totally taking advantage of your generosity. Now, did you overreact? Maybe just a little, but you reacted out of emotion, which is totally human. I might revisit the situation if you really want to babysit and sit your sisters down and explain the following to them. I do not have to babysit for you, I do it because I love you and my nieces and nephews. However, my house, my rules, and I would appreciate it if you would respect my rules of my home. If you can't respect my rules, then I will not be able to babysit for you any longer. My dogs are my children, and I am responsible for their health and well-being just like you are for your children. Chocolate is poison to dogs, so no chocolate in my home ever. With that said, stand your ground. Your babies need your protection too. Now for our third and final story.
Am I the asshole for filing a complaint about a hospital worker trying to touch my baby? Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment that I had to bring my 7-month-old son with. Appointment went fine, but afterwards I had to head downstairs to the lab to get some blood drawn. While I'm waiting in line to check in, another woman walks up to me and starts asking about my son. Boy or girl? How old is he? Meanwhile, he is in his stroller sleeping with a blanket over the whole front so it's darker and gives off the chill, sleep vibes inside the stroller. This woman proceeded to lift up the blanket to peek inside at my son. Immediately responded with, in a slightly annoyed tone, he's sleeping right now, he's been having a rough time with naps during the day, so he was very cranky earlier. Which is mom code for don't wake up my baby, don't touch my baby. Right after I told this lady that he was sleeping, she looked up at me and said, "Oh, okay," really fast in a hushed tone. Then continued to try to stick her hand further in the stroller under the blanket. Like she was just gonna be quiet now instead of taking the hint. So, at that point I was mad and snapped, "Don't touch my baby, I don't know you and I already said he is sleeping." She had the nerve to tell me it was okay because she worked there at the hospital. That just made me even more mad, so I asked her, "So then are you here to draw my blood too since you work here, and you can do everything?" She then said how rude that was and how she just wanted to congratulate me on my baby. She told me that it was a shame motherhood didn't turn me into a sweet person who wanted to show off and brag about my baby like it does for everyone else. As she walked away, the counter opened up for me to check in and I asked to file a complaint about her being so rude and trying to touch my baby. The woman at the counter said I could and would give me the info I needed for that, but then asked if I was sure I wanted to complain because lots of people like touching babies here, usually the mom isn't upset about it. I was literally flabbergasted that she would say that to me, so I turned around and left the whole goddamn hospital because I could feel a nuclear breakdown coming. I called the hospital later and explained what happened and that I needed to reschedule. The woman on the phone apologized on behalf of the hospital and said she would file the complaint for me. Now that I've simmered down, I do sort of feel a bit Karenish because I've never filed a complaint about anyone before. But I'm still so mad about the way they talked to me at the clinic.
So, in my opinion, you were definitely not the asshole here, but you did contribute to the situation, as I will explain. First, the woman was being a bit entitled and disrespecting you and your baby's privacy. She acted as if because she worked at the hospital, that somehow gave her the right to invade your personal space like that. However, you weren't clear when you told her he was sleeping and, as you put it, mom code for "don't touch my baby." Not everyone will know that code and it can be misunderstood, which is what sounds like happened here. Next time, be concise and polite with your directions of "please do not touch my baby, I do not like it when strangers touch my baby." She may say, "Oh, it's okay, I work here," as a means to assure you she can be trusted, at which time I would reply, "I understand you work here, but I do not know you, so I will ask again, please do not touch my baby." If she continues to push the issue, then you would be justified to file a complaint because at that point she isn't respecting your directions of boundaries. As for you feeling a bit Karenish, well, this is why I don't like that term, because it implies that anyone who files a complaint is acting like a Karen when they have been wronged. It is a form of gaslighting and also victim shaming. You were the victim here and just trying to protect your son's right to privacy. She was being manipulative in her reply after you finally told her straight, "Don't touch my baby." File the complaint and stand behind it. Don't feel bad about it because you were doing what every mother should do, protect their children from strangers. Moral of this story is to be clear with your wishes and boundaries, and if you love babies, remember not everyone wants their babies touched by strangers. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed these web tales. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't forget about us, and you will see more of our content. Hit the bell to be notified of new videos when they are uploaded. Smash the thumbs up so you can be sure YouTube knows you want to see more content like this. So, who do you think is the asshole in these stories? Comment below with your thoughts and let us know if you agree or disagree with our assessment of these situations. Until next time, happy tangled web tales everyone.